Hey everyone, it's Dr. H, friendly wargame guy with the Air Command and Staff College. This is about the Air Superiority Step, and basically the Air Superiority procedure. It's a pretty lengthy one, it's a pretty complex one, you've probably done it a bunch of times, so this may be a reminder for you, but bear with me while I go through this. Now, keep in mind, each theater, Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, Poland, and Iran, has its own Air Superiority tableau. This tableau is the Vietnam one, however, Taiwan will have one, Poland has one, Iran has one, and Korea has one. In order to participate in the air superiority, you have to reach the air superiority zone or zones that matter for that particular air superiority part. That really only applies to Pacific. If you're in Poland, if you're fighting over Poland and the Baltic, you're pretty much fine. If you're fighting over the Middle East, you're pretty much fine. We talked a little bit about it, but just to review, right? Like the air superiority zones are marked by the air superiority mark on each zone. If it's ochre, it's Vietnam. If it's blue, it's Taiwan, and if it's red, it's Korea, right? So we have to get to that zone to participate in the fight. So how does the fight work? The first thing in air superiority is that we're going to check who has the AWACS advantage. Now, come up here to this setup. Oh, red has an AWACS advantage. Red has an AWACS advantage of 2. So the first thing that happens in air superiority is we have to assign tokens that are in the ready box to air superiority in that area. So I'm going to do that. Now, the side that assigns first in that zone is the person that is the side that does not have AWACS advantage. So red has AWACS advantage. Red gets to watch and see what's going to happen. So I am going to, all right, let's have a big monitor. There we go. So I as blue will now assign some guys to air superiority. I've already made my choices. Don't worry, this will take a second. So yep, I'm gonna put all these dudes in air superiority. Red can then look and see what they want to do, right? So this is an opportunity for you as JFAC to have DSM ready, right? If I only see this much up for air superiority, right? I've got these planes over here. Do I commit them to air superiority or not? Here are my decision criteria, right? Good opportunity for a DSM. Now, red says, good. And I am now going to assign guys from my ready box into air superiority. Neat. Right, and they're just going to push all these dudes. All right, excellent. So now both sides have made assignments to air superiority. Now we're going to pair these up into fights based on, again, AWACS advantage. The side with the AWACS advantage makes a number of fights. Let me zoom in a little bit. Equal in air superiority, equal to their AWACS advantage level. So red has an AWACS advantage of 2. They're going to make 2 fights. So what do we got here? We're going to pair these guys up. No, that's a bad idea. We're going to pair this guy up with this guy. Right, we're going to pair this guy up with this guy. Okay, 2 pairings have been made. Now red, out of the ones that have not been paired, blue is going to pair 1. And this one right here. This will do. Great. All right. So now red makes 2 more pairings. This one and this one. And we'll go this one and this one. Perfect. And then blue gets to make an additional pairing. This one will try to fight this one. All right. We have now made all the pairings using all the pieces that are available for blue, but we can see that red has some guys left over. Red now has, the side that has leftover stuff after the pairing has an option of either A, leaving it alone and not putting them in, meaning there's no chance that they'll be destroyed and they're going to count for a spurty, which we're going to talk about in a second, or making 2v1s. We're not going to worry about 2v1s in this one for now. But that's an option, right? But we're going to leave these guys out for now. Okay, cool. Now you will conduct air superiority on all these air-to-air combat involving all these pairings. We're not going to conduct air-to-air combat in this video. There's a separate video on how does air-to-air combat work, and we'll talk about, and you can go to that video if you need more details there. I'm just going to sort of randomly make some decisions here to make a ratio happen. Sure, we'll send this guy back here, and he'll go back here, and he's okay, he's okay, he's okay, he's gonna go back, he'll go back, and he'll go back. Boom, there we go. Okay, now we have done all the air-to-air combat. Now we have to determine the ratio of pieces to determine the level of air superiority. In order to do that, we just have to count. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red pieces. We've got 1, 2, 3 blue pieces. So that's 2 to 1. I'm going to come over here. To air superiority, right? This is the thing that describes it. And I'm going to look for a 2 to 1 advantage, right? So, right, 1.5 to 1, but not 3 to 1, means it's going to be advantage. So we're going to adjust this token. I swear, we're going to adjust that token. Okay, over to red advantage. So red has air advantage, right? That requires us, we check to see, does that require us to adjust the AWACS advantage? What does this do for detection? We check all of those things. We now know, hey, red has air advantage in terms of air superiority. We would adjust AWACS advantage based on the instructions in the box. We now know the detection range is based on who has air superiority, and we can proceed with the turn, right? So that's the air superiority determination procedure, right? We look at who has AWACS advantage. Note, if neither side has AWACS advantage, then you're both going to reveal your choices simultaneously. Nobody gets to see what the other side has. And then the side with AWACS advantage is going to choose a number of pairings equal to its AWACS advantage number. So if it has 1, it'll choose 1. If it has 2, it'll choose 2. If it has 3, it'll choose 3. Note that if nobody has it, then it's just going to be the first players, the first side, and that's going to be determined by the scenario. You'll know who should be picking, who should be making choices. And then air-to-air combat. If any pieces are left over from the picking, they can either be 2 to 1s, which we'll talk about in air-to-air combat, or they can be left out just to determine the ratio. We determine the ratio, and then we adjust our superiority level. We note the detection levels, and we note the any changes in the AWACS by moving the AWACS marker. It's actually fairly simple. Once you get down to it, this is one of the more complicated things in the game, and it's pretty easy. So I have a great deal of confidence in every JFAC out there that's looking at this video and trying to figure it out. One thing to remember is that the units that are assigned to air superiority that don't get aborted out are available for escorts and for interception missions. We'll talk about that in due time. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. This has been about air superiority and has been largely aimed at trying to figure out the air superiority step. Anyway, I hope I will see you in the next video. But for now, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.